a person of American citizenship put a finger on my face and said, "Go home, foreigner, go home." And that's when I realized,
something that is on your bucket list.
Going to Alaska actually is on my bucket list.
Wow. Your favorite podcast?
So podcast for me is a way of again crafting better leaders. If you look at What's With, the podcast that I Pepto-Bismol and Daiji, because my cooking is so terrible, they would definitely need it. एउटा नयाँ काम गर्ने शैली, त्यो चिज चाहिँ त्यही MBA, त्यही BBA, त्यही डक्टरेट नेपालमै गरे भए त्यो चाहिँ सिकिँदैन थियो है, जुन चाहिँ किताबबाट
So as you in general say in your shows, in your media appearances and so on, सुरुवातबाट सुरुवात गरौँ, सुरुवात अलिक गहिरो गरौँ यो पालि. So let's dive in, shall we?
Sure, let's dive.
Every leader has a pivotal moment that shapes who they are. Different life events, different milestones. What has been that experience or event in your life that has molded you as Anil Keshary Shah?
I agree to a certain extent with what your question is. I think it is not an event, but events. There are multiple events that will shape any individual. I don't think it would be sad if there was just one event shaped me.
Yeah.
So I think the first event was when I was very young, when my mother got posted to Dhaka to set up the embassy after Bangladesh got independence. Until then, I grew up with my grandparents, specifically my grandmother. And then my mother, when she got posted, she came and told my Hajur, I think my son should go with me to Dhaka. And if my grandmother had said, and I was very close, we were two brothers, and if she had said, today my life would have been very different. I would have most probably been a very spoiled Thakuri man who would have been living off rent or something of the sort. But she, mutu mathi dhunga math rakhi. I can imagine how much pain it must have been for her, her favorite grandson going away. She said, Hunsa. And that was the start of many changes in my life. Because until then, I was just a kid who was, pampered by their grandparents and so on and so forth. Then going to Dhaka. And then having to go to 9 different schools because my mother was in the Foreign Service, my father was in the UN. That was the other event that shaped me. Because today, Anil Shah is a global citizen because when people didn't know where Kenya was, Rwanda was, Somalia was, Afghanistan was, I used to have friends from there. I used to go to their house. I used to see their culture, eat their food. That's why I'm just as comfortable here eating in a fine dining restaurant in London as I'm eating with my kakas and, Thuloboas in Birkot, having some dhero and Shishnuko tarkari or whatever it is. Because change became a part of my DNA, right? So that was another shaping event. The other was at 16, I went to college. And that's when I decided that I'm going to take control of my life. And I stopped asking my parents for permission, or which was actually moving the risk of making decisions to them, and started saying, I'm going to take the risk, the up or the down. And from then onwards, I've always taken my own life's destiny into my own hands. And so it's these sort of events that has shaped me into who I am today. Then again, I was supposed to come back to America for my MBA. I came for my work experience to Nepal. But after 2 years, 2 women again intervened. One was my mother, got posted to India as Nepal's first woman ambassador. And second was the person who's my wife now. And she was also studying in Delhi at the time. So these 2 women, I thought, why should I go back to America? Let me do my MBA in Delhi. So that's why I did my MBA in FMS, which was amazing because MBA is about management, but management is very different in different parts of the world, I've learned. So if I had done an MBA in America and come back to Nepal, it may not have been as Sandarvik, as you say, as doing it in India, because the case studies were more relevant, my friends were more relevant, discussions were more relevant. And so that again shaped me. And when I came back to Nepal, I decided I'm going to take a job on my own merit, not have anyone call. And the first job I got in Nepal Grindlays Bank was as an assistant. And my salary was 3,500 rupees. At that point, people thought I was crazy. 3,500 rupees is going to take me 10 lifetimes to make the money that my parents just spent on my education. But because I took that job, I grew, I evolved, I learned, I became a CEO, I became one of the highest paid Nepalis that there was. It was because I decided at that time, मेरो आफ्नो खुट्टामा उभिएर म अगाडि बढ्छु है, कसैको फोन कलमा हैन. If I had taken a phone call that time, maybe I'd have become a GM or a senior manager in some government organization. Those organizations don't exist. The system that would have given the phone call doesn't exist. I would again have been an absolute nobody because there would be nobody to make that phone call for me. So I think it's this series of events that if you look back at it, many of the events at the time it happened seemed wrong. It seemed like pida. It seemed like, why me? But they shaped me to who I am. When I left my grandmother's lap and went to Dhaka, I cried. I was so angry with my mother. Why does she have to go? Why does she have to take me? Let her go alone. All these things I saw, went through me. But because of that, I became who I am. When I was 16, went to America and started college, I was scared. I was apprehensive. I was like, what? Everyone's 18. I'm 16. But it shaped me to who I am. When I took that 3,500 rupee, I didn't know I was going to be CEO. I was going to be successful. It would have been a total disaster. But my suggestion to everyone is life is shaped by events that are good and bad. Smiles and tears both make you who you are. Don't ever forget that. If you just think that it's the smiles and the good times that make you who you are, you're gravely mistaken. Today, Anil Shah is Anil Shah because events that made me cry, events that made me laugh, events that made me love, events that made me hate, all of it has made me who I am today.
Oh, wow. It sounds like, from what I can hear from all of that, is the travel, jati pani garnubhayo Dhaka, outside of Nepal, US, India, all of them contributed to who you are right now, and all of them gave you a bit of learning everywhere. How much would you say that travel चाहिँ एउटा मान्छेको व्यक्तित्व विकासको लागि जरुरी छ?
मलाई त लाग्छ है, मेरो आफ्नो दृष्टिकोणमा त एकदम जरुरी छ. किनभनेदेखि शिक्षा, दीक्षा, पढाइ भनेको एउटा क्लासरुममा मात्रै हुँदैन के, आफ्नो वातावरणले पनि गर्छ. हैन, जस्तै एउटा नेपालमै पढ्नु नराम्रो होइन. नेपालमा एकदम उत्कृष्ट कलेजहरू छ, स्कुलहरू छ, युनिभर्सिटीहरू छ. तर त्यही नेपाली स्कुल, कलेज गएर युनिभर्सिटीलाई विदेश गयो भनेदेखि उसको कम्फर्ट जोनबाट बाहिर गएपछि अनि उसले धेरै चिज सिक्छ. एउटा नयाँ समाज, एउटा नयाँ सोच, एउटा नयाँ काम गर्ने शैली, त्यो चिज चाहिँ त्यही एमबीए, त्यही बीबीए, त्यही डक्टरेट नेपालमै गरे भए त्यो चाहिँ सिकिँदैन थियो है. जुन चाहिँ किताबबाट सिक्ने, क्लासरुमबाट सिक्ने या इन्टरनेटमा त्यो गरेर गुगल गरेर सिक्ने त सिकिन्थ्यो होला. तर अमेरिका गएर जसरी मैले गएर चाहिँ मेरो पहिलो काम भुइँ पुस्ने काम थियो. म नेपालमै पढाए भए कहिले पनि भुइँ पुस्नु पर्दैन थियो होला. तर त्यो भुइँ पुसेर के सिकेँ मैले, भुइँ कसरी राम्रो पुस्ने त्यो त सिकेँ. तर त्यो सँगसँगै कुनै पनि काम सानो हुँदैन है. डिग्निटी अफ लेबर भन्ने मैले त्यसलाई सिकाएँ. किनभने मेरो साथीभाइहरूले मलाई सानो देखेन. दे अल न्यू आई युज टु माई जब वाज स्विपिङ द स्कुलको क्याफेटेरिया, बट दे नेभर थट वाउ सो स्कुल आई डोन्ट वान्ट टु बी हिज फ्रेन्ड. नो, दे वर फ्रेन्ड्स विथ मी, नट माई जब. एन्ड द्याट्स व्हेन आई थट वाउ, मान्छेको भिजिटिङ कार्डको डेजिग्नेसनले उसलाई डिफाइन गर्दैन है. त्यही भएर म कसैले मनपर्छ, मलाई कोही मनपर्छ भने म उसँग साथी हुने नहुने चाहिँ यो ठुलो मान्छे हो, यसको चाहिँ नजिक बस्नुपर्छ भन्ने त्यो सोचबाट म पर हटेँ. मलाई अमेरिकाले त्यो सिकाए नि. होइन, बीबीए त मैले नेपालमै गरे भए पनि हुन्थ्यो नि. काम गर्ने कसरी, एक्लै बस्ने कसरी, इन्डिपेन्डेन्स के हो, मनी म्यानेजमेन्ट के हो, यो सबै चिज चाहिँ बाहिर गएर मैले सिकेँ. त्यही भएर चाहिँ एज यु सेड, नो, इट्स अबाउट ट्राभल. इट्स मोर देन ट्राभल. आई थिङ्क इट्स अबाउट स्टेपिङ आउट अफ यर कम्फर्ट जोन. Nobody likes to do it. I don't like to do it also. है, सत्य भन्ने हो भनेदेखि. But I know the more I do it, the more complete, the more evolved a person I'll be.
No, wonderful. अघि मैले दाइलाई छोटो हामी यो पोडकास्ट सुरु गर्नुभन्दा अगाडि कुरा गरे जस्तै म युके आएर एज अ स्टुडेन्ट एक्सपिरियन्सहरू बटुल्दै गर्दा मैले पहिलो पटक दाउरा सुरुवाल लगाएको चाहिँ नेपालबाट बाहिर आएर भनेर भनिने होइन. अनि त्यसले गरेर मलाई बाहिर आए पनि मेरो देशबाट झन् नजिकिने हुने मौका पायो. एक अर्को, मेरो देशलाई, नेपालीहरूलाई र नेपाली मानिसहरूलाई र त्यहाँको जनशक्ति या कल्चर, डायस्पोरा, हेरिटेज सबै कुरालाई कसरी बाहिरको एङ्गलबाट आँखाले कसरी हेर्दो रहेछ भन्ने कुरा पनि थाहा पाएँ. And I think that's a massive learning for any young person who goes outside to study, to work, to see how their country and they are being seen by the entire world.
Absolutely. यसको उदाहरण चाहिँ जब कोही छोरा या छोरी आमासँग बस्छ, झगडा हुन्छ, गाली गर्दिन्छ आमाले, आफूलाई पनि आमा देखेर कहिलेकाहीँ दिक्क लाग्छ, किन यो काहीँ गरिरहेको होला, म आई नो वाट आइम डुइङ, यो त्यो लाग्छ. तर जब आमाबाट पर गइन्छ नि, अनि त्यसपछि आमाको माया के हो भनेर त्यो बेलामा थाहा हुन्छ. त्यो जुन कोखबाट जन्मियो त्यो आमा होस् या हाम्रो नेपाल आमा होस्, नेपालमा बसेर हामी कति होइन तितोपन गर्छौँ नि हाम्रो नेपालको बारेमा के भन्छौँ कसो भन्छौँ सतीले सराप्या देश पनि भन्छौँ तर नेपाल बाहिर गइसकेपछि यहाँले भन्नुभयो जस्तै अनि दौरा सुरुवाल लाउनु अर्कै मजा लाउँछ ढाका टोपी ढल्काउनु अर्कै मजा लाउँछ र कोहीले नेपालको बारेमा केही नराम्रो भन्यो भने अनि त्यसपछि चित्त दुख्छ मन दुख्छ अनि होइन एउटा आक्रोश पनि निस्किन्छ त्यो भएर चाहिँ आई फाउन्ड दिस विथ डायस्पोरा एभ्रिवेयर इभन व्हेन आई वाज आउटसाइड नेपाल my love, I thought, wow, people ask you, how come you came back to Nepal? I could say it's because I love Nepal and all that is true. But it's also because I never got to live in Nepal. People want what they didn't have. So I never got to live, so I went back. So it is very true. And now with more Nepalese abroad, I think that love from afar is growing greater and greater now.
Yeah, no, undoubtedly. Like you said, you stayed 4 years in the US. जहाँ चाहिँ तपाईँले BBA पढ्नुभयो अनि आफ्नो शिक्षालाई अगाडि बढाउनु भयो सँगसँगै धेरै कुरा सिक्नुभयो भोग्नुभयो त्यो भोगाइमा if you can pick one of the best experiences and one of the most lowest experiences, what would they two be for you?
The best experience I think is what my professors very early on told me is studying is not about just regurgitating whatever you learn from a book. Because that is what my schooling had been. You mug and then you just write exactly what is in the book if you want to get highest marks. The closer you are to copying whatever is in the book from your mind into the exam, the higher the marks you get. US told me no. If you do that, it's called plagiarism. You get thrown out of college. You need to take that, process it, and then use it to answer using your own intelligence and your own thinking. That is the best thing that the US taught me. It's not about, as I said, it's your calculator. Let the calculator do the sums, but the answer, how do you use that answer is what your mind does. It's not just getting the number right. It is the utilization of that number. So that process of a different way of thinking is what I think America taught me. And that's what's made me who I am. It's not just taking, 1 plus 1 is 2. Okay, so what does 2 mean? Why is 2 better than 1? Why is 1 plus 1 2? Yes. And why is it not 11? To make you think in that way, to step out of your comfort zone, even in the way you think. That is the best. And the worst experience, I think, and it's another reason I think I went back home, is when a person of American citizenship put a finger on my face and said, "Go home, foreigner, go home." And that's when I realized, यहाँ जति ठुलो मान्छे भए पनि जति जे गरे पनि कोही न कोहीको अधिकार हुन्छ है मेरो मुखमा यसरी औँला ठडाएर गो होम भन्नेलाई होमै जाउँ न त त्यहाँ त कसको भाउको तागत मलाई गो होम भन्ने होमै त हुन्छु नि भनेर I think that was one of the experiences what really showed me that people who are outside how difficult it is for them for in a way I chose to choose the easy way and went home but those who feel that home gaer गर्ने के त I have to stay here to send back home so that everyone at home is safe and secure. मैले नेपालमा बसेर हेर्दा इन्स्टामा हेर्दा टिकटकमा हेर्दा ओ गजब हो बेलायतमा बसेर लन्डनमा यस्तो रहेछ यो त्यो भनेर त्यहाँ पीडा के हो भनेर त्यहाँ गएर चाहिँ होइन जुन चाहिँ भित्रैबाट चाहिँ एउटा नेपालमा बस्ने जुन सन्तुष्टि हुन्छ त्यो नहुँदाखेरि के हुन्छ भन्दा that I think is my worst experience when someone told me go home and I realized that no matter what I do here or whatever you say home चाहिँ हैन रहेछ है मेरो भनेर so I think that was the worst.
Yeah, no, thank you for sharing that. And I'm really sorry that you had to go through that because nobody deserves that. When you're even a student, you're contributing to the economy, you're contributing to the university, wherever you are. I've been working here in the university sector for almost 9 years now. अनि त्यो सबै हेर्दाखेरि युनिभर्सिटीमा चाहिँ इन्टरनेशनल स्टुडेन्ट र स्टुडेन्टहरूले गर्ने कन्ट्रिब्युसन धेरै ठुलो हुन्छ. एन्ड तपाईँले भर भन्नुभएको जस्तै नन रेजिडेन्सियल नेपालीहरू भनौँ होइन पिपल द नेपाली पिपल हु लिभ आउटसाइड अफ नेपाल उनीहरूलाई चाहिँ सबैजना त अब सुखै सुख या चिल्लो बाटो या सुकिलो कपडाको लागि मात्र बाहिर आउने हुँदैन. जस्तो आमा भए पनि आमा त आमै हो नि त होइन त्यो त चेन्ज हुनेवाला छैन होइन. जसको आमा जस्तो भए पनि मम इज मम यो आमा इज आमा यो मदर इज यो मदर होइन. अनि त्यही हिसाबमा निस्किएर आउनु र अरू ठाउँमा बस्नु जहाँ चाहिँ यो टेकन एज अ सेकेन्ड डिग्री सिटिजन चाहिँ कसैलाई पनि इच्छा हुँदैन होला. तर आई थिङ्क देयर आर मेनी behind the scene or the behind the story elements. I
think in fact a majority of Nepalese who are living outside, if you ask them, why did you leave Nepal? Was it because of political pressure? No. Was it because of ideological pressure? No. Was it because of religion? No. Was it because of ethnicity? No. Then why? It's economic.
Yeah.
म जस्तो त होइन सम्पन्न परिवारको हुँ, म फर्केर गएँ, मेरो घर थियो, मोटर थियो, खाना पुग्या थियो, होइन रिस्क थियो, तर कम रिस्क थियो नि होइन. तर जसको चाहिँ गाउँमा घर छ, पानी पर्दाखेरि धरधर आउँछ, आमाको काखमा टाउको राख्दाखेरि आमाको पेटको क्वार क्वार सुन्नुपर्छ, उहाँहरू विदेश जानुभएको छ. खाडी क्षेत्र होस्, कोरिया, मलेसिया होस्, होइन, बेलायतै होस्, युरोप, अमेरिका, अस्ट्रेलिया होस्, उहाँहरू त आफ्नो त्यो परिवार पाल्नलाई जानुभएको छ. आमा बाउको होइन कसरी हेरविचार गरौँ भनेर जानुभएको छ, बच्चालाई राम्रो पढाइ कसरी दिउँ भनेर जानुभएको छ नि होइन. आमा मन नपरेर गएको होइन है, आमालाई पाल्ने कसरी भनेर. र म त भन्छु है, म एकदम क्लियर छु, आज अनिल शाहले बसेर यो नेपालमा फोन किन्छ, जुत्ता लुगा किन्छ या भात खान्छ, त्यो कसरी गरिरहेछ भने यहाँहरू जस्तो मान्छे जो विदेशमा बस्नु भएको छ, कमाएर जो पैसा पठाउनु भएको छ, त्यही पैसाले गरिरहेको छु. कि नेपाली रुपियाँ त नेपालभित्र मात्रै चल्छ नि. चामल बाहिरबाट किन्नु पर्यो, दाल किन्नु पर्यो, होइन, पेट्रोल डिजल किन्नु पर्यो, जे किन्नु पर्यो पनि त्यसलाई त डलर, युरो, पाउन्ड त चाहियो नि. त्यो कहाँबाट आउँछ भन्दाखेरि जो नेपालले आफ्नो जिन्दगीलाई होल्डमा राखेर विदेश गएर काम गरेर पसिना बगाएर होस्, बुद्धि चलाएर होस्, काम गरेर त्यो पैसा पठाइराख्नु भएको छ, त्यही पैसाले नेपाल चलिरहेको छ. हाम्रो एक्सपोर्ट भनेको के अरे अलिकति अब हाइड्रो सुरु भएको छ, न त टुरिज्मबाट आउने, नत्र त अधिकांश आउने भनेको रेमिटेन्सबाट. सो वी निड टु बी भेरी क्लियर when people say that ओ नेपालको माया नगरेर विदेश गए. होइन, नेपालको माया, नेपाल आमाको माया, आफू जुन कोखबाट जन्मे त्यो आमाको माया गरेर विदेश जानु भएको छ उहाँहरूले. र त्यो आमालाई पाल्नेमा हामीलाई पनि पालिराख्नु भएको छ. यो चाहिँ नेपालमै बसे नेपालीले चाहिँ बुझ्नु परेको छ. उहाँहरूले आफ्नो काम गरेको छ. उहाँहरूले पैसाको पठाएको पैसाले हामीले सदुपयोग गर्यौँ या दुरुपयोग गर्यौँ त्यो अर्को ठाउँ हो. तर उहाँहरूले त विदेश गएर जुन पैसा पठाउनु भएको छ त्यो उहाँहरूको कोखबाट जन्मेको आमाको पेट पनि पालिराख्नु भएको छ र हामी सबैजनाको पेट पनि पालिराख्नु भएको छ. अब त्यो पैसाको राम्ररी कोरियाले राम्ररी सदुपयोग गर्यो. आज हेर्नुहोस् होइन, इफ यु लुक एट साउथ कोरिया, दे वर अ कम्प्लिट रेमिटेन्स बेस्ड इकोनोमी आफ्टर द वर्ल्ड वॉर. They all went to Germany and all and worked and sent. But there the leadership used that money properly and Korea developed. Are we doing that or not is another question. But the Nepalese who have gone abroad are doing their bit. है, त्यो छोराछोरीहरूले जसले चाहिँ होइन नेपालको छोराछोरीहरूले पैसा पठाइराख्नु भएको छ, त्यही पैसाले गरेर हाम्रो देश चलिरहेछ.
No, that's something new for me. यो जुन तपाईले साउथ कोरियाको केस भन्नुभयो, केस स्टडी नै भनौँ होइन. It's a really unique thing, and I think the Nepali government would have a lot of things to learn from it. अनि I'd like to take this conversation a step back. जुन तपाईले भर्खर हाम्रो यो इन्सिडेन्टको कुरा भन्नुभयो युएसमा भएको होइन, जहाँ चाहिँ मान्छेले औँला ठडाएर गो ब्याक होम फरेनर भन्ने कुरामा. सो यो कुरा चाहिँ किन निकाल्नु खोज्दैछु भने फेरि एज अ इडिआई इक्वल टु डाइभर्सिटी एन्ड इन्क्लुजन ट्रेनर एन्ड फेसिलिटेटर माइसेल्फ धेरैजना मान्छेलाई चाहिँ माइक्रो अग्रेसन्सहरू के हो, स्टेरियोटाइप्सहरू के हो, अनि त्यो कुराले कसरी असर गर्छ होइन. अनि मेनी पिपल से द्याट यु डोन्ट ह्याभ टु से एनिथिङ, यु क्यान फिल racism and that segregation even when you stare at someone or when you are in that particular room होइन. ओ कतिपय ठाउँमा ट्रेनको डब्बामा, कतिपय ठाउँमा ट्युबमा, कतिपय ठाउँमा in the same restaurant होइन. त्यो the way the person would look at someone, र त्यसले मलाई यसरी हेऱ्यो त भन्नु मिलेन. तर आई थिङ्क त्यो माइक्रो एग्रेसन, स्टेरियोटाइपहरू सबै कुराहरूमा पनि अलिकति एक लेभलको लर्निङ र डेभलपमेन्टहरू बढ्दै गयो भने चाहिँ आई थिङ्क नेपाली डायस्पोरालाई नै धेरै राम्रो हुन्छ. मेरो आफ्नो प्रयासहरू चाहिँ जारी गरिरहेको छु. मैले रिसेन्टली पनि हाम्रो मर्जिङ नेप्सक भन्ने एउटा अम्ब्रेला अर्गनाइजेसन छ स्टुडेन्टहरूको, स्टुडेन्ट एन्ड यङ प्रोफेसनल्सहरूको युकेमा. त्यसको वाइपी क्लब, यङ प्रोफेसनल क्लबले एउटा इभेन्ट गरेको थियो. त्यहाँ चाहिँ मैले रेस इन इक्विटी एन्ड अन्डरस्ट्यान्डिङ अबाउट रेस इन इक्विटी एन्ड फादर बियोन्ड भनेर चाहिँ एउटा सेसन गरेको थिएँ. त्यहाँ पनि अहिले करेन्टली अफिसमा बसेर काम गरिरहनु भएको, यहीँ पढेर मास्टर सकाउनु भएको हाम्रो नेपाली डायस्पोराको फर्स्ट जेन सेकेन्ड जेन इमिग्रेन्ट फ्यामिलीहरूको भाइ बहिनीहरूलाई पनि यो कुरा थाहा छैन भनेपछि अरू अधिकांश म्यान पावर जसले चाहिँ त्यो मौका पाउनु भएको छैन, त्यस्तै खालको सुविधा या त्यस्तै खालको अपर्च्युनिटी पाउनु भएको छैन, उहाँलाई त झन् थाहा भएन नि. त्यसले गरेर के भयो, नेपालीहरू आएपछि हामी चाहिँ जोत्तिने नै हो, जोत्तिने पर्दाखेरि चाहिँ काम गर्ने, पैसा कमाउने जाने हो भन्ने मात्र हुन्छ होइन. अनि त्यसको लागि आई थिङ्क अ लट अफ बिग इन्फ्लुएन्स इज लर्निङ एन्ड डेभलपमेन्ट. अनि यहाँबाट अलिकति लर्निङ एन्ड डेभलपमेन्टतिर कुरा लाँदाखेरि चाहिँ अनिल दाइले एउटा राम्रो ठुलो एउटा ट्रेनिङ एन्ड डेभलपमेन्टको क्याम्पेन सुरु गर्नुभएको छ, लिड नेपाल इङ्क. यसको बारेमा के भनिदिनुहोस् न.
सो मेरो चाहिँ अब एज यु नो 31 years I was a banker. Of that 17 years I was a CEO. So at the end of my tenure as CEO, I started to think अर्को एक कार्यकाल खाने, people were saying you should become CEO again and all. I thought पुगेपछि पुग्यो नि हैन, भोक लागेको छ भनेदेखि कोहीले दाल भात सब तरकारी कति खाइन्छ नि, सब खाइसकेपछि अर्को त्यस्तै मिठो एक थाल अर्को ल्यायो भने हामी खाँदैनौँ नि, पुग्यो अब त भनेर भन्छौँ नि. मलाई पनि पुगेको थियो के त्यो चाहिँ. तर अब गर्ने के त भन्दाखेरि मैले के सिकेँ, त्यो 17 वर्ष CEO 31 वर्ष ब्याङ्किङमा मैले के पाएँ भने नेपालमा अभाव भनेको बुद्धि चलाउने या पसिना बगाउने नेपाली युवाको अभाव छैन. अभाव छ भने नेतृत्वको अभाव छ. There's a leadership void. And I'm not talking about political leadership only, right? Political, bureaucratic, private sector, social sector, education. There's a leadership void. So मैले के सिकेँ भने over 17 years as CEO, I learned how to be a value-based good leader. त्यही भएर अनिल शाहको ब्रान्ड पनि बन्यो होला and all that. So let me now spend the next few years spreading what I know about leadership. Whenever I started this institution called Lead Nepal Inc., the vision statement is crafting leaders. Leaders in every field. Because if you are going to make a nation, a society that we want, we need leaders in every field, not just political leaders. We need good leaders in medicine, in private sector, social sector. So I started to do this and I started to move forward to say, okay, let me do these interventions with political parties, host, army, police, host, bureaucracy, host, private sector, colleges and all that. Different types of leadership, team building, synergy, strategic thinking, visioning, missioning, all this sort of thing. So that it took me 31 years to learn all this. If through my intervention, people can do it much faster, then we can move forward. You know? If everyone again takes 31 years to get to where I got, then we're going to go nowhere as a country. Yeah? Or if I say, oh, I know all this, I'm going to keep it with me, I'm not going to share it with anybody, we get nowhere. So I say this knowledge, whether it's been leadership or whatever domain knowledge you have, it's like we have a candle. So Anil Shah has a candle that is lit. The youth also have candles, but they are not lit. And we're all in darkness. So I find in our society, a lot of people who have lit candles are hiding the light and only trying to move forward themselves. People are asking, and people are falling here, there, everywhere, not realizing my lit candle is getting smaller and smaller as well. One day my candle goes off, I'm also in darkness. And then I ask, batti cha koi sanga? And they say, batti. I want to light as many candles as possible. I don't have fear that the light of my candle will get less. It will not. But what will happen is the day when my candle runs out, there'll be so many candles lit around me, there'll be so much brightness, I will not even know that my candle is gone off.
Absolutely.
That is what sharing knowledge, learning and development is all about. Once you have that philosophy, then I think you can move forward to share the knowledge you have. And you don't have to wait 31 years, be a CEO. Whatever you know right now, if you're an elder brother or sister, share it with the younger ones. The good and the bad. You make the decision yourself. So I don't give prescriptive. I don't say, you do this. No. Life, everyone is different. Everyone has their own path to walk on. I tell you the path I walked on, where I fell, what I did after I fall, how you should avoid falling. And so that you can move forward faster than me. My fear is not that you will get ahead of me. My fear is that you will not get ahead of me. Because Nepal आमालाई राम्रो बनाउने हो भनेदेखि सबैजना मभन्दा पछाडि नै रहोस् भने नेपाल आमा कहाँबाट राम्रो हुन्छ? जब आउने पुस्ता मभन्दा अगाडि जान्छ अनि पो त नेपाल आमा राम्रो हुन्छ. And नेपाल आमा राम्रो भयो भने के हुन्छ? In the years ahead, I will live in a country which is like, wow. आज यो लन्डनमै घुम्दाखेरि लन्डन शहर बन्दाखेरि पनि मोटर गाडी थिएन नि, उनीहरू पनि घोडा चढ्थ्यो. आज लन्डन शहरमा पुरा नेपालको जति नै मोटर गाडी होला, तर यहाँ ट्राफिक जाम त्यस्तो छैन, ट्याटा टुटु त्यस्तो छैन, सबै ट्राफिक चलिरहेछ. कसरी त? उनीहरूले पनि पुरा लन्डन शहरलाई ध्वस्त बनाए, नयाँ शहर 4 लेन हाइवे त बनाएन, बाहिर त बनायो होला, शहरभित्र त छैन. भनेपछि they have done something. Who has done? The leadership has done something. Not only the political leadership, the planners, the engineers, everybody, leadership in every field. And that's why you have such an organized city over here. हाम्रो सहर पनि केही कम छैन है. जब हाम्रो भक्तपुर हैन कान्तिपुर ललितपुर भनिरहेको थियो, त्यो बेलामा यो लन्डन सहर पनि त्यस्तै थियो होला. हाम्रो त कहाँबाट पानी त्यो ढुङ्गे धारा हामी हेर्छौं नि. Have you ever thought त्यो ढुङ्गे धारा भक्तपुरको बीचमा पानी कहाँबाट लिएर आयो र कसले इन्जिनियरिङ विचार गरेर कहाँ ढारा पानी 12 महिना पानी सहरको बीचमा आउने? त्यो बेलामा हाम्रो पुर्खाले गरेको थियो. We were at par with the best in the world. हाम्रो पानी त त्यही हो, माटो त त्यही हो, हावा त त्यही हो. हामी त्यहाँबाट यहाँ गयौं, उनीहरू यहाँबाट यहाँ किन गयौं? नेतृत्वको अभावले गर्दा. We lost good leadership along the way. They gained better leadership along the way. I want to ensure that we put our youth back on the track of great leadership. And that's what Lead Nepal is all about.
Fantastic. Fantastic. But let me just say a big wow, Dai. A big wow for like 31 years in the sector and 17 years as a CEO.
Yeah.
That's huge. And I feel so honored to sharing this this space with you. And also thank you so much for being so kind. Tapeko choto London ko visit UK ko trip mani, you have made this possible. This is just wow.
Thank you for giving this opportunity. As I said, crafting better leaders everywhere. नेपालमै बसेकोलाई मात्रै गर्छु भन्ने हैन. नेपाली दाजुभाइ दिदीबहिनी यो हेरिराख्नु भएको छ. मेरो दुई शब्दले उहाँहरूलाई पनि केही लिडरशिपमा यात्रा, उहाँहरूको लिडरशिप यात्रामा केही सकारात्मक योगदान गर्छ भने किन नगर्ने? Why not? This is what it's all about. And it's nothing about just I fear Nepalese leadership is about मैले भनेको चिज भने अरूले सिक्छ मभन्दा राम्रो होला. मभन्दा राम्रै त होस्. म एउटा एक्जाम्पल दिन्छु. I have one child, she's a daughter, Arya. She's studying, just finished a master's in Columbia, and now she's doing that 1 year work in America. I'm waiting for that day when people will introduce me as Arya's father, where her name will be bigger than mine. That is how you have to think about all youth, all society, all the people who are, in your team. Don't be afraid that their name will become bigger than yours. If they become bigger than yours, then you will become wow. If every bank Anil Shah ran had collapsed, would you ask me to come to your podcast? No. What would we talk about? Tell me that. तपाईले त तीनवटा संस्थाले डुबाउनु भयो. कसरी संस्था डुबाउने भन्नुस् त हाम्रो दर्शक वृन्दलाई भनेर त who wants to know? Because the teams I worked with were successful. We did amazing things together. Not me alone. We did it together. That's why people want to know, how did this guy do it? Let's learn from him. And that is what everybody has to realize, that you will only be successful when you impart knowledge on your teams, your family, your society, so they can be better than you. Unfortunately, I find many times people my age, more senior than me, don't want to do that. Mainbatti balya cha, batti lukau. Afu matrai agadi badau. न त आफ्नो संस्था, न आफ्नो परिवार, न आफ्नो समाज अगाडि बढ्छ त्यो सोचले चाहिँ.
Absolutely. And on the same note, I would just like to say a massive thank you to you for being the inspiration to not only me and youth like me who are outside of Nepal and in Nepal as well. अनि अधिकांश जति पनि नेपाली भनेर आफूलाई भन्ने मान्छेहरूको लागि चाहिँ thank you so much for being that youth icon, and thank you so much for being that leader who they can follow. किनभने जे कुरा देख्छ मान्छेले, humans being humans. So I'm saying this with my trainer or facilitator hat on. In terms of cognitive behavioral learning, people need to see.
Yes.
हैन कि एउटा अफ्रिकामा एउटा जनावर छ हरिण जस्तै, there's another name अलि मलाई ठ्याक्कै याद हैन, तर त्यो जनावर हरिण जस्तैले चाहिँ उफ्रिने चाहिँ it's a high capacity. अनि त्यो उफ्रिने क्यापेसिटी भए पनि जूमा चाहिँ उसलाई 1.5 मिटरको बारले छोक्छ रे के. अनि किन छेक्छ भन्दाखेरि चाहिँ उसले कहाँ ल्यान्ड गर्छु भनेर देख्दैन रे के. So if they can't see it, they can't jump to it.
Exactly.
So with the same reason, हैन, उले त अब 5 मिटर 6 मिटर उफ्रिन सक्छ भने त्यो पनि नदौडिकन as a spring, हैन, उफ्रिन सक्छ भने उले त्यो नदेख्दा नउफ्रिन सकेको जस्तै. If people don't, in Nepal and in global scenario, for all young learners and mature learners pani, if they can't see leaders in that space, they don't know how to be, how to behave and what to learn. So thank you for being that for all of us.
Thank you.
I still remember the first time I met you, and then I'm glad that we're doing this. And now moving on to another question. Alikiti पछाडि लानु खोजे जुन चाहिँ लर्निङ एन्ड डेभलपमेन्टको ट्रेनिङ and सेसन्सहरु सँगसँगै, what do you think is the biggest barrier or challenge Nepali young professionals र स्टुडेन्टहरुको लागि from your experience with Lead Nepal Inc?
I think it's सोचमा परिवर्तन ल्याउनु पर्छ. जस्तै there's a difference when you spend your time or your money or your resources. There are two ways. One is a cost, one is an investment. I find a lot of the Nepalese, regardless of age, are quite okay with cost. Naya iPhone 16 aako cha. A lot of people want to buy it. It may cost lakhs of rupees, whatever. Kaile ल्याउने, kaile आउँछ नेपाल, किन्नु पर्यो एउटा. They want to go to clubs, parties. You spend thousands of rupees, jump off a bridge to do bungee jumping. Those are all costs. Wonderful. Do it. You enjoy. You've earned the money. Why not? But there's also another, which is investment, whether it's your time or your money. And learning and development is an investment. It is not a cost.
Because absolutely.
you're investing in yourself to be a better version of yourself, so you can earn more, so you can spend more also. But when it comes to that in L&D, people are like, oh, यति पर्छ यो एक दिन भरि 2 दिनको प्रोग्राम हो अलि गाह्रो होला. But if the same person is told, ल पोखरा जाउँ है, ल 3 दिन छुट्टी लिएर जाउँ पोखरा गएर यो गर्ने त्यो गर्ने, जाउँ पोखरा, पैसा पनि त्यति नै खर्च गर्छ, सबै चीज पनि त्यति नै हुन्छ हैन. सो आई थिंक त्यो सोचमा परिवर्तन ल्याउनु पर्छ कि सबभन्दा ठुलो लगानी भनेको शेयर्समा, सुनमा, जग्गामा हैन, मैले आफूमा गर्नुपर्छ. जब त्यो सोचमा परिवर्तन आउँछ, जुन समाजहरुमा त्यो सोचमा परिवर्तन आइसकेको छ, त्यो समाजहरु भ्यागुते छलाङ रूपले अगाडि बढिरहेको छ. किनभने त्यसको जनशक्ति, त्यो समाजको जनशक्तिको क्षमता एकदम वृद्धि भइरहेको छ. हाम्रो चाहिँ के भएको छ भनेदेखि बन्जी जम्पिङ होस्, पब क्लब जाने होस् या आइफोन किन्ने होस्, मा चाहिँ वाह छ. तर आफूमा लगानी गर्ने भन्दाखेरि चाहिँ यति पर्छ दाइ, ओहो अलि बढी भएन, त्यो चाहिँ 2 दिनसम्म ओहो त्यो अलि गाह्रो होला समय निकाल्नलाई. So if you want to grow, then you must invest in yourself. If you don't invest in yourself, you may grow by chance sometimes, but you will not consistently grow. So I think that is what the challenge I find is that, the way of thinking that I need to invest, I need to evolve, I need to grow. म त म्यानेजर बनिसकेँ, म त CEO बनिसकेँ, म त अब मैले पनि अहिले मलाई पनि ट्रेनिङ चाहिन्छ. I remember at one point when I was CEO and I said I need to go for some training, my board asked me, अनिल शाहलाई पनि ट्रेनिङ चाहिन्छ? And I said, किन चाहिँदैन? सबैलाई ट्रेनिङ चाहिन्छ. किनभने अहिले त प्रविधिले गरेर यस्तो अगाडि हैन, सबै चीज अगाडि बढिरहेको छ. AI आइसक्यो, यो आइसक्यो, त्यो आइसक्यो. मैले जे सिकाएको छु त्यही मात्रै गर्ने हो भनेदेखि त, जस्तै जब चाहिँ घोडामा हैन, यही लन्डनमा, when people were running around in horse carriages and someone brought out a car, people must have initially thought, oh, this is a toy, this is a fad, it'll go like this. And if everyone had just kept running around in horse carriages, the car would never have come. The car is not an evolution from a horse carriage. It is a transformation.
Yeah.
If you had told the person making a horse carriage, make a better horse carriage, they would have put suspension, they would have put whatever, put more horses and all that. They would not have made a car. A horse carriage cannot evolve to be a car. A transformation is required in transportation to move from a horse carriage to a car. And that's what leadership is about. That's what you need to सोच में परिवर्तन ल्याउनु पर्यो के. म हॉर्स क्यारेज हैन, म कार हुने कार हैन, प्लेन हुने प्लेन हैन, रकेट हुने, त्यो आउनु पर्यो दिमागमा. त्यो हुनलाई you need to invest in yourself.
Yes, absolutely. I think from my coaching hat on, I can say the learning mindset.
Yes,
the learning mindset and the growth mindset.
Yeah. And it's not only the mindset. It's once you have the mindset, your thinking process to spend your time and your resources to invest towards that growth of that mindset. Okay, just to have the mindset is great. Yeah, I must do that, but it's too costly. This takes too much time. It doesn't work. And I'm not saying that just because I'm in the space like you are in. We're not trying to sell you the course or do a come and take our coaching or this program or no. Think about it yourself. It's unless you invest in yourself, how are you going to grow? And just going to school and college and university and I've done all the learning I need, that's a sad way of thinking. Life has just started after uni. Now you've got to really invest in yourself to grow and evolve. Anil Shah didn't become Anil Shah because he was born out of, into some family or something. I invested a lot in training and development and coaching and so on and so forth. And I still do, even now, to grow all the time. Because if you think I know everything, now I need to teach, I don't need to learn, that's the end of you. You start going down.
Absolutely.
No matter who you are, what your age is, what your designation is, you need to learn. You need to grow, you need to evolve.
Like them 100% there. I totally agree. यो सँगै अलिकति डेभल्स एडभोकेट जस्तै पाराले सोच्दा या त्यो एंगलबाट सोच्दा मेरो एकजना साथी काठमाडौँमै हुनुहुन्छ अनि उहाँले चाहिँ इट्स अ भेरी गुड फ्रेन्ड. हामीले पहिला मैले रोटरीमा काम गर्दाखेरि देखेको साथी. वी वर्क in a wide range of community development work and so on and so forth. उहाँले के पनि भन्नु भने मैले रिसेन्टली नेपाल गएको बेलामा एभ्री टाइम नेपाल गएको बेलामा एउटा न एउटा ट्रेनिङ अफर गर्छौँ हामी either through Extensive Minds, जुन हाम्रो लर्निङ सोल्युसन प्लेटफर्म, or Lead the Change International, which is our non-profit charity organization. अघि मैले दाइले भने जस्तो 4 दिनै नेपाल जाँदाखेरि पनि हामीले 1 दिन चाहिँ ट्रेनिङ गरेरै आएको छौँ. त्यो अपर्च्युनिटी अफर गरेको छौँ just because we want to pass over the skill set that we have to give that learning opportunity. अनि यस्तै गरेर हामीले रिसेन्टली एउटा ग्लोबल लिडरशिप ट्रेनिङ भनेर गरेको थिए. इट वाज लाइक 3 hour सेसन जहाँ चाहिँ there were 4 pillars of leadership, global leadership and so on. अनि त्यो सेसनमा चाहिँ मेरो साथी पठाउँदा आफ्नो स्टाफहरू पठाउनु खोज्दाखेरि चाहिँ भर्खर दाइले भन्नुभएको छ वी निड टु इन्भेस्ट अन योर सेल्फ भन्ने कुरामा चाहिँ के कुरा आएछ भने बिकज देयर इजन्ट मच मोर अपर्च्युनिटिज फर अस वाइ सुड वी इन्भेस्ट इन अस भन्ने कुरा आएछ क्या So what would you like to say on that?
Maybe there are not much more opportunities for you because you're not investing in yourself. That's what I'd like to say. Because if you want to take the game to the next level, don't say the game. There is no game of the next level. You invest in yourself, become the next level. The game will follow.
Yeah.
I truly believe that. If I had just been happy, I got a job in a bank. Now I'm really happy. This, that. Maybe I'd have become a branch manager or some manager or something. But I wouldn't have become CEO at the age of 38 and then CEO again and CEO again and CEO again. It wouldn't have happened. It was because this mindset was, I can push myself. I can keep going more and more. And this is what I want to do through Lead Nepal, is change that mindset. There's no opportunity. What am I going to do? The sad part is I go and talk to a lot of BBA, MBA, BBS, MBS students in some of the best private institutions in Nepal. And when I ask them, what do you want to do? Over 90% of them, say we want to go abroad. And I say, okay, where do you want to go? So they say America, Australia, Western Europe, in jun desh ko visa lage pani jane. So they don't even know which country. I say, okay, once you get there, what do you want to do? Dai, pugu na tyaha, jindagi banaune ho. Tyaha pugeपछि ma dekhaunchu ni. Now just think about this. Nepal, your family, your society, your whole support system, you see more risk in staying in that than going in an unknown country to do unknown things. You see less risk and more opportunity in that. अब त्यो भन्दा ठुलो कालोपन कुनै देश कुनै समाजलाई के होला? हैन म जस्तो मान्छे जो चाहिँ नेतृत्वको हैन लिडर अफ नेपाल म्यानेजर सीईओ भनेको त्यो भन्दा ठुलो लाजको मर्न के होला? राजनीतिक नेतालाई मात्रै भन्दिन म है, हामी सबै जसले चाहिँ हाम्रो डेजिग्नेसनमा ठुलठुलो लिडरशिपको रोल लिएको छ, I am a captain of industry, I am a captain of this, यो चाहिँ leader of this भनेर भन्छौँ नि, धिक्कार हामी सबैलाई कि हाम्रो युवाहरूको चाहिँ त्यो सोच छ कि विदेशमा जुन देश भए पनि जे गरे पनि त्यहाँ चाहिँ I see a better future for myself than staying in my country with my family, in my support system, with all the safety nets I have. I see more darkness there. त्यही भएर म एउटा कुरामा भन्छु, कटारमा जब वर्ल्ड कप हुन लाग्थ्यो and then there was a lot of international strife that Nepaliहरू चाहिँ कटारमा लगेर they're being mistreated, the workers, this, that and all. And I also thought about it and I thought, my God, not that they were being mistreated in Qatar, but how terrible must their situation be at home? That they feel that the terrible situation in Qatar is less terrible than the situation at home. Therefore, they have paid bribes, they have given all sorts of payments, sold their mother's gold to get that, visa and that work to go and work in Qatar. It's not like in the case of slavery from Africa where they came and put people in chains from villages and took them to America and make them work in cotton fields and make railroads. That was different. हाम्रो त गाउँमा गएर बोरामा हालेर नेपाली लगे हैन नि, साम दाम दण्ड भेद गरेर पैसा गरेर खुट्टा ढोकेर कटारमा जागिर लगाइदिनुस् भनेर कटार गएको छ। हो कटारमा त्यो जुन ट्रिटमेन्ट थियो त्यो नराम्रो थियो होला, तर एज नेपाली लिडर्स हाम्रो गाउँमा कस्तो नराम्रो रहेछ भनेर त्यहाँ हेर्नु पर्दैन, हामीले हाम्रो आत्माभित्र झाँकेर हेर्नु पर्यो कि हाम्रो ठाउँमा कति नराम्रो रहेछ कि त्यस्तो नराम्रो कटार पनि त्यो भन्दा राम्रो रहेछ त, नत्र त किन जान्थ्यो उनीहरू त्यसरी? So when you talked about racism, I want to come back to that. We think त्यो मलाई पनि भन्यो नि go home भनेर, तर हामी पनि विचार गरौँ। र यो एउटा अमेरिकन फिलोसफी प्रोफेसरले रेसिजमकै कुरा गर्दाखेरि 80s मा भनेको मलाई, म र एउटा मेरो साथी मार्क रेन्डल भन्ने थियो हैन, दुईजना थियौँ र उसले भन्यो यही रेसिजमको कुरा उठिरहेको थियो अनि उसले भन्यो ल म रेसिजमको कुरा गरौँ, यो अनिल छ नेपालबाट, what are you अनिल? I say I'm Hindu. Okay, यो तिमी कहाँ? म म्यासेच्युसेट्सबाट, अनि तिमी क्रिस्चियन। ल भन्नु तिम्रो अनिल छोरा भयो र यसको छोरी भयो, दुईजना लभ परे र एकदम सादा बिहा गर्ने भए। अनि पहिला यो म्यासेच्युसेट्स ठिटीको घरमा गयो र तिम्रो छोरा उसको छोरी एन्ड यो चाहिँ यो हो, आई एम इन लभ, वी आर गोइङ टु गेट म्यारिड भन्दा उसको तिमीले के सोच्छौ, तिमी के काम गर्छौ, तिमीले कहाँ पढेको छौ, तिम्रो भविष्यको विचार के छ हैन, व्हाट आर यु गोइङ टु डु विथ योर लाइफ, दिस आर द क्वेशन्स दैट यु विल बी आस्क्ड। अनि त्यसपछि उनीहरू तिम्रो घर आयो, आउने बित्तिकै के हुन्छ भन अनिल? ल सत्य भन, तिम्रो सेतो एउटा ठिटीसँग तिम्रो छोरोले बिहा गर्न लायो भने तिमी खुसी हुन्छौ? हुँदैनौ। उसको परिवारले तिम्रो छोरोलाई एक्सेप्ट गर्छ, तिम्रो परिवारले उसको छोरीलाई एक्सेप्ट गर्दैन। विचार गरौँ मैले सत्य भनेको छ कि छैन। के गरे आयो, न त धर्म मिल्छ, न त जात मिल्छ, न त केही मिल्छ, कहाँ यस्तो बिहा गरे, राम्रो एउटा नेपाली छिटी बिहा गरे भए हुन्थ्यो। हामीले त्यो विचार गर्छौँ।
And what year was this? Sorry,
1985 जस्तो होला, 1985. Okay, and then when we talk about racism, I'm not going to say about which race or which country, but just think yourself. Do you not talk amongst your friends about certain types of people in a derogatory manner because of their skin color, because of the country they come from, because of the accent they speak with? As Nepalese, don't we do that? We do. त्यही भएर एउटा औँला यसो गर्दाखेरि चारवटा औँला आफैतिर छ है। त्यही भएर यो रेसिस्ट माइन्डसेट होस् या यो नन प्रोग्रेसिभ माइन्डसेट होस्, हामीमा कम छैन है। अरूमा मात्रै छ, हामीलाई मात्रै वी आर द भिक्टिम मात्रै होइन। अहिले पनि त्यो कुरा हो है। एउटा कुनै नेपाली ठिटाले होइन एउटा यहाँकै एउटा एङ्ग्लो सेक्सन गर्लसँग लभ परेर घर गयो भने त्यति राम्रोसँग त्यो उनीहरूले एक्सेप्ट गर्दैन होला है। अर्को धर्मको भयो भने गर्दैन होला है। छालाको रङ फरक भयो भने गर्दैन होला है। भने उनीहरूले हामीलाई मात्रै डिरोगेटरी सेन्सले हेर्दैन, हामीले पनि उनीहरूलाई हेर्छौँ कि परिवर्तन सबैलाई चाहिएको छ, हामीमा पनि परिवर्तन चाहिँ आउनुपर्छ। एन्ड द्याट्स वेयर दिस एभोल्युसन, लर्निङ, ग्रोथ, डेभलपमेन्ट कम्स. It's not only others, we need also.
No,
tell me, don't you think it's true?
Yeah, I think there's a lot of things around reverse racism.
Absolutely.
जहाँ चाहिँ एउटा साइड चाहिँ कस्तो छ भने अब यही अब लर्निङ एन्ड डेभलपमेन्टमै जोड्नु खोज्दाखेरि अब मैले 2016 मा मेरो लर्निङ एन्ड डेभलपमेन्ट सुरु गरेर ट्रेनर भएर one of the person that I idolized and I was really sad when he recently passed away. Rajendra Bahadur Shrestha sir. Very good leader, and it was very difficult for me at that time when he passed away. You know, मैले दायालाई पनि मेसेज गरेको थिएँ अनि when I saw him in Rotary Hall, then I started to say, okay, I am going to be a trainer. Maybe that was 2008 or 2007. The way he speak, the way he was always, you know, in a positive mindset. अहिले पनि उहाँलाई सम्झिँदा हाँसिरहेको मात्रै याद आउँछ क्या होइन। अनि एनिवे तर त्यो कुरामा चाहिँ that's how I started my learning and development as a trainer side of the table भनौँ। अनि त्यसरी सुरु गर्दा गर्दा चाहिँ मैले युथहरूसँग काम गरेँ, नेपालमा काम गरेँ, मास्टर ट्रेनर भएँ रोटरी इन्टरनेसनलमा, रोड ट्र्याकमा। अनि त्यसरी नै यहाँ आएर पनि मेरो फर्स्ट जागिर वाज ट्रेनिङ एन्ड डेभलपमेन्ट। आई वाज अ ट्रेनर ग्लोबल होप भन्ने च्यारिटीमा युनिभर्सिटीमै। I used to train students to go to 7 to 8 different countries. And त्यसमा intercultural spaces, team building, leadership हरु सिकाउँथे उनीहरूलाई सेसनहरु गराएर। अनि त्यसरी गर्दै जाँदा मैले कहिले पनि सोचेको थिइनँ कि someday I will reach Switzerland and be a facilitator and a trainer there. कहिले पनि सोचेको थिइनँ। यो कुरा कसरी यहाँ आयो भने अहिले भर्खरै मैले त्यति धेरै एउटा एक्सपोजर पाएर मेरो ट्रेनिङहरु मन पराएर मेरो मान्छेलाई कनेक्ट गर्ने एउटा एकदम नन जजमेन्टल स्पेस अफर गर्ने मेरो स्किललाई चाहिँ उहाँ त्यहाँबाट यदि राम्रो मानेर मलाई फेसिलिटेसनको लागि बोलाउनु भयो भने यदि म अहिले गएर नेपालमा ट्रेनिङहरु मैले फ्रीमै अफर गरे भने पनि
एक्ज्याक्टली
त्यो कलर हैन को छ ट्रेनर इज ए मार्क or is it Pranay is it Peter or is it Pranay हैन अनि त्यसले चाहिँ फरक पार्दो रहेछ। अनि म जहिले पनि के भन्छु भने सबैजना युवाहरू whoever the learner or the coachee or the mentee or the trainee are जहिले पनि के भन्छ भने see the credential of the coach. के छ गर्नुभएको हैन कसले गर्यो भन्दा पनि के चाहिँ गराउनु हुँदो रहेछ त what has it done for the last few years के मा ट्रेन गर्नुभएको रहेछ के प्र्याक्टिस गर्नुभएको रहेछ NLP गर्नुभएको छ कि CBT गर्नुभएको छ कि हैन कोचिङ मेन्टरिङ गराउनुहुन्छ कि फेसिलिटेसन मात्र गराउनुहुन्छ कि कतिजना युवाहरूलाई सम्म ट्रेनिङ गराइसक्नु भयो हैन। मैले त्यस्तै नै एउटा फ्लायर बनाउनु परेको थियो यो पालि चाहिँ that I've trained more than 3,500 young people and done in more than यतिवटा कन्ट्री युगान्डा स्विजरल्यान्ड इन्डिया नेपाल त्यस्तो भनेर एउटा बनाउनु परेको थियो किनभने I think learning and development मा चाहिँ अझै पनि नेपाल needs to progress a lot and we have to push a lot far. धेरै धेरै अनिल केशरी शाह जस्तो मान्छेहरू अझै धेरै अनिल केशरी शाह चाहिएको छ। अनि मेरो लेभलमा जुन मैले गर्दैछु त्यो धेरै धेरै कोचेस प्रणय जस्तो खालको कोचेस या ट्रेनरहरू पनि चाहिएको छ to make all of those people aware of things.
यसमै म एड गर्छु। I also face this all the time. Just recently also I got a email saying that we're doing some summit or the other and these are the other speakers. Would you also come and be a speaker as well? And there's speakers coming from Hong Kong and Singapore and all sorts of places. And I said, okay, I do this as a profession now, Nepal and all. So what is the compensation and all? And they said, oh, please, it's for the youth and all. Will you do it for free? And I said, how much is it costing you to bring? I don't think these people are coming on their own thing. So you're buying a ticket, you're keeping in a hotel, this, that, and all. You see value in doing all that, but you don't see value in giving Anil Shah compensation.
Yeah.
Okay, because youth like you garu bhanera. Instead of all these other people, if you got Nepalese who are also just as qualified, I'm sure, to do the same thing, would your whole structure would be different. And he said exactly the same thing. तर यिनीहरू नआएदेखि त पार्टिसिपेन्टै आउँदैन हैन. So I was the only Nepali sort of facilitator or keynote speaker or thing they wanted because of the brand that I had. But even that they wanted me to do pro bono, which is okay. But again, why does the Nepali do pro bono and then the people who come from all the other countries are not doing pro bono and they're okay with that? This is the mindset we need to take. के घरको भगवान ढुङ्गा बराबर, विदेशको ढुङ्गा भगवान बराबर भनेको जस्तो. And reverse racism. सेतो साला हुने बित्तिकै यसले भनेको त सबै चिज ठीक होला. अर्को चाहिँ अंग्रेजी बोल्ने. राम्रो अंग्रेजी बोल्ने बित्तिकै यो त विद्वान होला. अंग्रेजी is a भाषा, man. It's not a मापदण्ड of intelligence.
Yes.
It's Chinese पनि बोल्छ मान्छेले, French बोल्छ, हिन्दी बोल्छ, नेपाली बोल्छ, अंग्रेजी पनि बोल्छ. But we still have to get over this. It's an evolution. It's slowly happening, I think. But then again, I've worked with so many people, non-Nepalis, who are amazing. I worked with so many Nepalis who are amazing. It had nothing to do with their skin color or whatever their language they spoke and all. They just had the mental ability, and that's why you've got to go beyond the skin deep to see the quality of the person. I think it will happen, but when you raise racism, it's हामी पनि त्यसमा दुईतिरैबाट के we face it also, we dish it out also.
एकदमै. On the same note, एउटा कुरा के भन्न चाहे भने on the contrary, यस्तो साथीहरू पनि हुनुहुन्छ कि नेपालमा जसले चाहिँ पर्सनली नै यदि यो सेसनहरुमा if you don't find the value for money, I'll pay your money भनेर मेरो सेसनहरुमा पठाउने साथीहरू पनि हुनुहुन्छ. So a big shout out to those friends जसले चाहिँ त्यो सपोर्ट गर्नुहुन्छ, बुझ्नुहुन्छ, त्यो खालको एक्सपर्टिजलाई एक्नोलेज गर्नुहुन्छ. And I think there are a lot of एकदम धेरै गर्नुपर्ने पनि छन चाहिँ, तर I think धेरै काम अझै हुँदै पनि छ in the background.
No, definitely. We're moving towards that critical mass. Okay, it comes to that critical mass. Once you get there, then it snowballs. We haven't reached there yet, but we are. People like you are pushing that envelope, pushing the thing. I mean, going back to Nepal for 4 days and investing one of those days to train, to give back, to wow. I mean, that's hats off to you and to your company for doing that.
Thank you.
Colleagues at this.
Thank you. अब त यस्तो भइसक्यो दाइ, when I go to Nepal, नेपालमा जाने बेलामा चाहिँ मेरो पापा र आमाले ओके यति दिनको लागि आउँदैछौ अनि ट्रेनिङ चाहिँ कुन हप्ता छ त?
It's a given, right?
Yeah, it's a given. Training चाहिँ कुन हप्ता छ त? आउने बित्तिकै हो कि जाने बेलामा हो? त्यस्तो एउटा भइसक्यो. तर I think they are very supportive in that sense कि त्यो learning and development जसरी सपोर्ट गरिरहेको छ. And the idea is whatever I've learned being in the UK, हैन, जति पनि ट्रेनिङ लिइरहेको छ या मैले दिइरहेको छु, मैले यहाँ स्टाफहरूलाई पनि ट्रेनिङ गराउँछु युनिभर्सिटीमा, अनि त्यो सबै दिएको कुराहरू चाहिँ त्यो अपर्च्युनिटी एउटा खोल्ने एउटा ठाउँ दिनु खोजेको हो. To give that opportunity where young learners in Nepal could get those same level of expertise.
Exactly, yes.
त्यो मात्र दिनु खोजेको.
त्यही हो के विदेशमा बसेको मान्छेले पैसा पठाउँछ, रेमिटेन्स पठाउँछ, देशको अर्थतन्त्र चल्छ, वाह भनिरहेछौ नि. तर हामीले चाहिँ त्यो चाहिँ it's just the surface. त्यो भन्दा बढी विदेशमा पढ्ने नेपालीले सिप सिकिरहेछ. Yours is in learning and development. Someone may be in medicine, someone may be in engineering. त्यो सिप अब नेपालले लिनु पर्यो कि त्यो वातावरण बनाउनु पर्यो where you are able to come in and give those skills. You have now got skills of an international level. म त नेपालमै बसेर गरिरहेको छु यो त. You are at another level altogether. When you come back, you are not lowering your skill level for Nepal. You are saying, I am pitching at this level. Come in and soak it in. Giving that opportunity. Why? Because you're from Nepal. You will not do that in Bangladesh or Sri Lanka or some other country because your love is for Nepal. त्यस्तै engineer होला, त्यस्तै doctor होला, public health official होला, जेसुकै होला. Let us come back to mindset. नेपालमा चाहिँ विदेश बसिरहेछ, पाउन्ड परिरहेछ, तिनीहरूलाई के छ हेर, हामी पनि नेपालमा बस्छ, नेपाल बनाउँछ. नेपाल भनेको आमा भनेको सबैले बनाउने हो. And just imagine there's a mother who has 4 or 5 children, and 3 of them are living abroad, 2 are living with them, doesn't mean the 3 living abroad are loving her any less.
Yes.
And when they come back and they want to do something, the 2 living with her can't say, everyone is happy when mother is happy. Nepal आमा पनि त्यही हो के हामी सबैजना नेपाल आमाको छोराछोरी हौ कोहीले कर्मले नेपालमै छौँ कोही कर्मले बेलायतमा छौँ अमेरिका अस्ट्रेलियामा छौँ जहाँ छौँ नेपाल आमाकै छोरा हौ नेपाल आमाकै छोरी हौ म योगदान गर्छु भन्दाखेरि आउनुस् भनेर जसरी आमाले हैन घरमै बस्ने छोराछोरीलाई जसरी माया गर्नुहुन्छ विदेशमा पनि त्यसरी नै माया गर्नुहुन्छ भने जस्तो नेपाल आमा इज एक्ज्याक्टली द सेम त्यहाँ बस्ने नेपालीहरूले चाहिँ त्यो भेदभाव उनीहरू विदेशमा बसेको छ उनीहरू गर्नु हुँदैन आई डोन्ट सी द्याट एट अल आई सी वाट यु टकिङ अबाउट वाइ नट ड्युअल सिटिजनशिप वाइ नट आई डोन्ट अन्डरस्ट्यान्ड दिस यु नो वाइ नट Of course we should have. Then when, if you are living in UK, suppose you're citizens of the United Kingdom, you'll have children. I know. If there's dual citizenship, then your children will also have some connection with Nepal.
Absolutely.
If not, they'll say, what the hell? They threw you out, Dad. Why do you want to keep going back to this country? They don't even recognize you as a former Nepali or a Nepali citizen. They don't want you there. Why do you want us to go? Then it's cut. But if we don't do that, suppose your child becomes the Prime Minister of the United Kingdom. And their father is a dual citizen with Nepal. That love, that connection, that whatever is still there. उसको छोराछोरीलाई पनि होला उसको छोराछोरीलाई पनि होला हैन आफ्नो छोराछोरीलाई पर गर्ने कि हैन काखमा राख्ने भन्ने कुरा हो हैन So that's why I have never understood this about saying no we can't. Okay, there may be certain things like you may not be able to. If you have a citizenship of another country, stand for political post, you may not be able to vote. Doesn't matter. You don't want to go for stand for political vote. But you want to be able to own property. Maybe you want to invest in Nepal. You want to do... Why not? And this is... परिवर्तन चाहिएको छ सर्वप्रथम सोचमा यो सोचलाई यस्तो बनाएको छौँ यसलाई यस्तो बनाउनु पर्यो कि अब चाहिँ हैन हात यस्तो हैन हात यस्तो गर्नु पर्यो अब चाहिँ हैन त्यो गर्यो भने पहिला नेपालीलाई गरौँ न अनि पो विदेशीलाई गरौँ त पहिला कुनै पनि देशको अर्थतन्त्र अगाडि बढाउने लगानी गर्ने हो भने त्यही देशको बसेको मान्छेले पैसा आफ्नो त्यही देशमा राख्नुपर्छ नेपालमा हेर्नुस् अधिकांशले कसरी पैसा बाहिर पठाउँ भनिरहेछ त्यसको पछि भनेको त्यो देश मूलको मान्छेहरू जो विदेशमा छ हैन उनीहरूले त्यो देशमा so then once you start investing and getting returns your non-Nepali ethnicity friends your white UK friends will say, where are you getting these returns? Why I'm investing in Nepal? I'm investing in Nepali hydro, in Nepali tourism. The returns are phenomenal. There's nothing here. Can I also? Yeah, sure. Why not? Then they will also start to invest in Nepal. So, afni deshko manchele, oh man, don't. I'm trying to take all my money out from that country. It's gone. When they call it, so to do that, हाम्रो सोचमा परिवर्तन आउनुपर्छ. त्यो सोच खुम्चाएर गयो भनेदेखि त्यो खुम्चेकै देश बन्छ. त्यो सोचलाई ठुलो बनायो भने ठुलो हुन्छ. So I tell all my leaders, everybody, that हात्तीको छाती बनाउनुस् के भङ्गेराको छाती बनाएर देश बन्दैन हात्तीको छाती भयो भने अनि देश
love it हात्तीको छाती I might use it in my next session Dai.
Absolutely.
I will definitely make sure that I say Anil Dai said this. I'll definitely reference it. So on a slightly different note, when we say about जब हामीले कुरा गरिरहेका छौँ सोचको विचारको हैन एकदम एउटा नयाँ र एकदम ongoing and current thing coming is AI, artificial intelligence.
Yes.
So from all of your expertise in banking sector, how do you think that AI will be influencing banking in Nepal and globally?
First of all, I think again it's our perception towards AI. Okay, and a lot of people come and say AI, the humanity is finished now with AI. I asked them, when calculator came, was that the end of humanity? When computer came, was that the end of humanity? When this phone came, after this phone came, I remember no numbers. Before that, I had to either carry a diary or remember the numbers in my mind. Does that mean I've become less of a human? No, I'm using my mind for something else. This phone is remembering all the numbers that I need. Now I don't even have to, hey Siri, dial inside. So AI is exactly the same. First, let us not be scared of it. AI is not going to take over the world. I don't think it's going to be. It is going to help us if it's a tool. If you use it properly, it is going to help us. The internet, okay? If used properly, the internet is a wealth of knowledge. If you use it to look at porn and gamble and do things, it is your downfall is there. It's not the fault of the internet. Internet le garera chora chori bigriyo. Hey, no, you didn't have the proper, education, check and balances. That's why chora chori bigriyo.
Yeah.
Not internet le garera. Internet le garera bidwan banyo, doctor banyo. Haina yesto gazab pani bhayo. AI is exactly the same, whether it's in banking, in medicine, and learning and development also.
Yes.
But there will always be things that will require human intervention. There will always be space for humans. It will help us. It will help a doctor. Okay, a doctor, say I go to my doctor. Right now, he just looks at whatever he knows from what he studied 20 years back in college, his experience of looking at 3,000 patients, and then makes a diagnosis on me. Now with AI, he can punch it into AI, look at all that, then use his experience and his knowledge, and then make a prescription as well. So I think there's a lot that AI will do to help us. However, if we misuse AI, then of course, just like the internet, is going to be a most terrible thing as well. So I think in banking, AI is going to be next level in terms of turnaround time in service. For instance, again, AI learns through algorithms, and whether it's loan processing, whether it's credit risk assessment, whether it's any sort of risk assessment, AML, whatever it is, it's there. And it's there 24 hours a day. It doesn't need holidays. It doesn't have off days. It doesn't get sick. So as a customer, if there's a bot or there's an AI, something that I can use to help me get through queries or anything problems I have, wonderful. But there will always be space for people. So I don't think people need to worry that AI is going to take all the jobs. It may take certain jobs, but it's like, did calculators take away jobs? No, they didn't. They helped people. But yes, it did take away some jobs which were completely without calculator. If you had to do everything manually and all, there'd be a certain group of people who'd just be doing that. Those people don't have jobs anymore because the calculator does everything.
Yeah.
Then Excel came and, spreadsheets took over even those jobs. But then there were new jobs that we did.
Yeah.
There was new ways we could, as human beings, evolve to do more. So now AI will help us to do that more. The cumbersome jobs that, the taxing job, maybe AI will do all those sort of things, but we will use our mind. Just like, when I use the calculator in my accounts class in the States, and the professor says, use it in your exam, but use your mind to do something the calculator cannot do. So I think with AI, it's the same. I think AI, just like now, digitization, fintech, enabled with AI, is going to take banking to the next level.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, what is banking for? It's not for us bankers to get paid and make bonuses and salaries. It is to provide a service to the people. Is AI going to make that service better? Wherever it is, let's use AI, because we are there to serve the people. We're not there I need my job, I need my salary, no. It's there to serve the people. So if AI is going to help that, take that service level from here to here, let's use it. But I am confident that in any, whether it's in medicine, in banking, in whatever, in learning and development, AI will help the professional take it to the next level. Before PowerPoint, there used to be something called Harvard Project Manager or something, which was something you would make presentations on, and you print it on slides and then put the slides in an overhead projector.
Yeah,
okay? Wow, it's so great. And before that, you have to draw on a whiteboard. PowerPoint came, it's wow. Now there are presentation things, tools that will make even better presentations. Yeah. But still you need the presenter now.
Yes. Yes.
At the end of the day.
And the idea.
Yeah. And I've seen AI-generated presenters and all. Till now, I have not seen the impact that you get from a human presenter. You can use an AI presenter as a someone to help you and to do whatever it is and all that. So let's not be scared as human beings that this thing is going to take over the world and kill us all and we're going to have no jobs.
Yeah.
No, maybe it's going to be different jobs, but the job is still going to be there. So it's like in when you take a tour, you can take a tour of many places in London where you can hire a little listening device, put it in your ear, and walk through, and they will tell you this is this painting, this is this statue, this is this.
That's right. Oh.
But there is also the tour guide.
Yes.
And he does it much better.
Absolutely, no doubt.
So if you cannot afford, you'll use that.
Yeah.
But if you can afford the time and the money, you'll use the tour guide. The tour guide is not afraid that my job is gone because now there's this listening device and thing. He knows I have a space for myself.
Yeah.
And I can do it better than that any day. Yeah. So AI is exactly the same in any field, not only in banking.
No, I think that's a really good, I think you nailed it. Like, थुप्रो मान्छेहरूलाई चाहिँ के छ भने मैले AI सिक्नु पर्दैन हैन, things like ChatGPT or any other AI tools मैले यो कुरा सिक्नु पर्दैन, यो सिक्यो भने मलाई मेरो सेक्टरलाई या मेरो कामलाई या मैले जे गर्छु त्यसलाई असर पर्दैन. तर I think I really hope that everybody who's listening to this or viewing this on a video format or an audio format would get the gist. What you beautifully explained, AI makes your work easier and better and takes it to the next level.
Exactly.
अनि त्यसको लागि त्यो सिक्ने कि नसिक्ने, अब हिसाब राम्रो गरेर फटाफट अकाउन्टको ट्याली गर्नको लागि क्याल्कुलेटर युज गर्ने कि आफै हिसाब गर्दै बस्ने हैन, इट्स गोइङ टु मेक इट इजियर. तर त्यो के गर्ने, कुन प्रम्प्ट हाल्ने, कसरी चलाउने त आफूमा छ. अनि त्यसको भित्र डिटेल कतिको युज गर्ने हैन, हाउ टु ह्याभ दैट अटेन्सन टु डिटेल एज यु टक अबाउट को competencies. One of the core competencies about attention to detail. कसरी चाहिँ त्यो कुरालाई हेरेर निहालेर एनालाइज गर्ने त, कसरी त्यसलाई केलाउने. Yeah, no, wonderful. And that was excellent. I think you nailed it. So something I would like to touch upon now is about you as the media person. So you also run podcasts. They are wonderful. I really like them. Ani podcast सँगसँगै के कुरा जोड्न चाहन्छु भने अहिले थुप्रो सिक्ने कुरा चाहिँ अनलाइन अवेलेबल छ अनि त्यो सँगसँगै पोडकास्ट इज आई थिंक वन अफ द हाइएस्ट वन्स. मान्छेले किताब छुँदैन बरु पोडकास्ट अन गरेर बसिरहेको हुन्छ हैन. अनि त्यो हेर्दाखेरि चाहिँ व्हाट डु यु थिंक नेपाली ऑडियन्सहरुले चाहिँ पाइरहनु भएको छ र व्हाट डु यु थिंक नेपाली ऑडियन्सहरुले चाहिँ दे कुड गेट बेटर?
Again, I think it's a question of where you want to invest your time. You know, whether it's, as you said, whether it's reading a book, going through Blinkist, seeing a podcast, or going through TikTok. You know, you can spend hours on Netflix, for instance. You may gain, you may not gain. You may do hours on TikTok, flicking through, one to the other, or do on podcast. The reason I did podcast, as I said, Lead Nepal Co is crafting leaders. And I thought, you have to look at what the audience wants. Not that खाने बे खाना तर बे घिच भनेर चाहिँ हैन यो हैन म आज मोमो खाने हैन फ्राइड राइस खाए. They will not have fried rice. They'll move somewhere else where they'll get momo. The audience wants to learn in a different way. They don't want to learn from books and case studies and all this sort of thing and all. They don't want to learn from reading on the computer and all. They want to learn by looking, by people who are sharing experiences. So podcasts for me is a way of again crafting better leaders. If you look at What's With, the podcast that I do, where we get groups of people of the same domain, whether it's creators, media people, musicians, movie people. Because a lot of youth want to be in media or musicians or in media, movies or whatever. By getting experts in that field, people they look up to, their mind opens up. So in 2 hours, they learn, wow, this is what this sector is about. This is the pitfalls of this. This is the opportunities of this sector. This is what I need to do if I want to move ahead in this sector. And then they learn. And they can move forward or they decide not to move forward in that sector. But that's how the audience wants to learn now. No, I don't want to do podcast. सिक्ने भनेको त क्लासरुममा आउनुपर्छ, नोट्स लिनुपर्छ भन् आउँदैन, सिक्दैन. It's a loss for everybody if that happens. So I think podcast for me has been very good. And again, COVID taught us. I was in the bank, then heading a bank. त्योभन्दा पहिला मिटिङ भनेको ल ब्रान्च म्यानेजर मिटिङ गर्ने, सबैजना ब्रान्च म्यानेजर आउनु पर्यो, यो त्यो हैन, 3 दिन गयो, एउटा दिन आयो, मिटिङ गर्यो, भोलि अर्को दिन गयो. Now Zoom, Microsoft Teams, all these digital meeting things. Meeting is at 3 o'clock भनेपछि until 2:55 they're working. Then they come sit into the meeting. From 3 o'clock it goes on till 3:45. They're there. 3:50 they're back to work again.
Yes.
Zoom हुँदैन, हामी फिजिकल मात्रै गर्ने. No. After COVID also we use Zoom. And we use Microsoft Teams and all these other Google Meets and all that. For the simple reason we thought, wow, this is amazing now. We must have physical meets, but instead of having it every month, we can have it every 6 months now. But instead of every month, every fortnight, all my province managers, wherever you are, we're having a meeting. Well, every province could BMs. Every week we'll have a meeting. Half an hour meeting, 8:30 in the morning on Wednesday. You start work at 9. Possible use of technology again, and moving forward. Podcast for me, after moving on from banking, was exactly that. Is how do I reach maximum audience? This What's With, 300,000, 400,000 views. Yeah. Wow. I mean, 400,000 people have looked at and benefited or enjoyed in some way or the other these podcasts, like this podcast. I'm sharing my knowledge, so and so. Suppose we did the same thing physically. Maybe 50 people, 75, 150 people would come. But that would be it. But look at the amount of people, and it's for perpetuity. Once you put it out there, 5 years down the line, 2 years, 1 month down the line, people can still look at it and gain from it. So I think Podcasts, it's an entertainment. It's got to be, because otherwise why would people look at it? But it's also value addition. And I found an evolution of Nepalese youth from my time to now. It's got a long way to go, where people are interested now. I don't know how much interested they are to pay and come and think. But if it's podcasts and it's something that's, entertaining, they will look at it and they will learn. Because this What's With podcast, I mean, many places from Mustang and Lomanthang to Australia and America, wherever I go, that episode was amazing. That personally, when say it was amazing. So it is that a large audience across the world, Nepalese at this point of time, are looking at it and are gaining from it. So I think this crafting better leaders, that vision statement, one of the tools I'm using is podcasts.
Yeah. Oh, wow. No, I mean, in all of those 400K or that numbers, I think more pani parcha, मेरो team pani parcha, and हाम्रो साथीहरु पनि पर्छ, and it's excellent. And I think you are the heart of that podcast. And I could very closely relate to what you just said. With my trainer hat on or facilitator hat on, एउटा session गर्यो अनि त्यसपछि अर्को इभेन्ट गर्यो तर कतिपय ठाउँमा आफूले गर्नु दिएको जतिको अडियन्सहरु नआएको मौका पर्छ हैन. If we are so passionate on learning and development, त्यो नम्बर्सहरु धेरै होस्, धेरैले सिकोस्, किनभने मेन गोल त त्यो हो.
Exactly.
अनि त्यो गोल भइसकेपछि त्यो रिच नपुगेको भएर चाहिँ I think that's what the London Roundtable Podcast show is all about. We are based in London. We get a lot of people from here. Yes, there will be Nepali diaspora and Nepali speakers, but also non-Nepali speakers. Just like afno lived experiences, number one. Number two, success stories. And number three is their expertise. त्यसलाई share गर्नको लागि. किन त्यसबाटै कसरी सिकोस् त हैन, त्यो learning and development को दाइले भर्खर भन्नुभयो जस्तै a different structure or format जुन चाहिँ घर-घरमा फोनमा स्क्रिनमा available होस्. And it goes really well with a theme saying channeling your potential, a space to explore, build and reflect.
Wow. Channeling your potential, a space to explore, build and reflect. That's perfect. And it's again on the way you think. A lot of people when I started doing podcasts told me, "Yo, this is not good." I said, "Why?" Because you're giving it for free. You need to monetize and in the terms of you need to bring them in a room, make them pay for it and all that. Yeah, that I do that as well. But I do this as well. It's not one or the other. This is a lot of people get to gain. But as I said, my vision statement is crafting leaders, not making leaders pay to become better leaders. And then again, a small group can only become better leaders. So for instance, when I do these leadership programs, I do paid programs. They're not cheap. But I also do pro bono. So when I go to a private college, I will also do a government college. Okay. And people say, how come, it's the same thing you're saying, why some people are paying, so why some people are not? Because at the end, we don't know who are going to be our leaders. No. Today, if you look at Nepal, the problem is that the leaders that we say all come from government schools and government colleges who didn't have the exposure or the ability to evolve and learn like those in the private colleges did. Where are the people from the private colleges? They're all in America, Australia, and here in the UK. The government colleges people, they all stayed back and they're leading. Now, if I don't impart what I know to that government college, 10 years down the line, the same thing will happen. But if I plant those seeds of value-based leadership, of team building, of whatever and all that, then when they come to those positions, that will also have become big trees in their minds, and their leadership will positively be impacted as well. So I think when we do these podcasts and so on and so on, we don't know who's going to be impacted in which way and how it's going to go forward. It's so many people come to me. Someone came to me in Harvard and said, "I'm here today, Dai, because of you." And I don't remember. And said, "Dai, you don't remember me?" No, I said, "No." He said, "It was a big program. I know you made Nepal, more Nepali, Hamro Nepal Bhanne program that you used to do." I attended a couple of them. Until then, I was just normal studying, from a village. Didn't think I could do anything. But then I thought, wow, why not? Let me try. I pushed myself, and today I'm in Harvard, Dai. So thank you. I just wanted to say that. So when you throw seeds on the field, you don't know which ones are going to come up and which ones are not. But just because of that fear, don't stop throwing seeds, because the ones that come up are going to be the ones that are going to feed you in the future. So it's that's what podcasts are about. I think we don't know who is getting this at this point of time. But I do know that there are a lot of people who are getting this who will come up to me at some point and say, "Hey, that podcast you did with the London Roundtable was phenomenal, right?" Batti bole dimagma, right? wow, that's what it is. It's not that I'll send you an invoice है त त्यसो भएदेखि भन्ने हैन नि. त्यो इन्भोइस भन्ने त्यो सन्तुष्टि कि आत्माको सन्तुष्टि हुन्छ. एउटा नेपाली छोरी एउटा नेपाली छोराको जिन्दगी बनेछ है. र मैले अलिकति भए पनि त्यो उसको जिन्दगी उज्यालोपनमा मेरो पनि एउटा सानो मोमबत्ती रहेछ है. That's the satisfaction that I'm getting right now. And that's what it's all about.
Yeah, no, I think that's beautifully said there. And I think there would be hundreds and thousands of candles which will be lit by your candle, as you say that, and a beautiful analogy about your candle lighting up the whole room, so that at the end, कसले क्यान्डल बालेको छ कहाँ बत्ती छ नै चाहिँदैन त्यति धेरै उज्यालो भइसक्छ हैन. I think it's absolutely 100% a learning and development facilitators or trainers dream हैन. अनि जुन दाइले गरिरहनु भएको छ. My next question was basically about how people would aspire to leave a legacy, but I think you've already answered it. त्यो बत्ती जुन बत्तीले गरेर चाहिँ पछि गएर अँध्यारो छ नै थाहा नहोस्. I think that's your legacy. If you want to add something, please add.
No, and I think, how do you learn? How does the mindset come? Is again, I think a lot of this, I talk a lot about my mom, but not a lot about my dad. This comes from my father. My father was in WHO in Delhi for 24 years. Okay, he was one of the most senior people in WHO ever in Nepalese. But throughout those years, he used to be the guardian of Nepalese who were studying in Delhi, who didn't have local guardians. And every festival, we used to have a huge number of Nepalese come there. At that time, India was very protected. He was a diplomat, so he had whiskey and he had khasiko masu and he had bhat. And so he did this with the openness of his heart. But later on, these trees he planted, the mangoes, his sons got the benefit.
Yes.
Because when I went to government offices, when I go to doctors, when I go to politicians, they say, "Anil, तपाईलाई थाहा छैन तर तपाईको घरमा त हामी कति दशैंमा आछौं नि दिल्लीमा. म JNU मा पढ्थेँ, म एम्स मा पढ्थेँ, म DU मा पढ्थेँ, and यहाँको बुवामा आएर हुसी खान पाउँथ्यो, खसीको मासु खान पाउँथ्यो." It was amazing.
Wonderful.
भन्नुस् त तपाईलाई म के गर्न सक्छु? He didn't do it because these people will help his son, but because he did it, his son got help. One of them was Dr. Baburam Bhattrai, who was in JNU at that point of time, and he was, remembers those days fondly. So many people are like that. So legacy भनेको त्यो हुन्छ के मेरो नाम जहिले पनि उज्जवल होस् भन्ने, that is not legacy. That is megalomania. Legacy is something you do without asking, wanting, knowing what is going to happen, what anyone will remember or not. Doesn't matter. I'm doing it not for you, I'm doing it for me. मेरो सन्तुष्टिको लागि गरिरहेको छु. त्यसबाट यहाँको जिन्दगीमा सकारात्मक प्रभाव पर्छ भने wow, all the best. But when there is an angle, I'm doing it because I want my brand to be bigger, I want more people to recognize me, then क्षणिक हुन्छ के.
Yes.
And that's why if you think about it, Anil Shah is not a movie star, he's not a model, he's not a media person. I was just a banker CEO. But why is Anil Shah sitting in a podcast with you? It is not because I was a bank CEO. I ask you, अहिले बैंकको 5 वटा CEO को नाम दिनुस् त गाह्रो हुन्छ तपाईलाई. People ask me, politicians, ministers ask me, हैन अनलाई हामी अस्कलमा पढ्दाखेरि तपाईको नाम सुन्थ्यौ. आज 12, 15, 16 वर्ष 20 वर्ष भइसक्यो तपाईको नाम सुनिरहेछ. आज मेरो मन्त्रालयमै तल आएर मान्छे सोच्छ मन्त्रीको नाम के हो भनेर. मन्त्रीको नाम थाहा हुँदैन. यो कसरी भयो तपाई राजेश हमाल हैन त मुभी स्टार हैन तर यस्तो ब्रान्ड कसरी बढ्यो? And I say it simply, walk the talk. Consistently walk the talk. Because people are not fools. If you don't walk the talk, they will see through you and that's the end of you.
Absolutely.
If you walk the talk, you start building that one step at a time, one step at a time. Because we are not movie stars. And you're a film, film super hit boy, everybody knows you. Even movie stars disappear, especially in Nepalese movies, they come, they go. Very few are like Rajesh Hamal or Rekha Thapa or whatever, forever remembered sort of thing.
Absolutely.
So it is about having that consistency to walk the talk all the time, right? And again, I want to stress, if you are going to do it for an angle, कि मेरो नाम रोशन होस् भनेर गरेको भनेदेखि हुन्छ होला, क्षणिकलाई हुन्छ होला. त्यो क्षणिक भनेको 1 हप्ता होला, 1 महिना, 1 वर्ष, 5 वर्ष होला, but it will not consistently stay. But when you do something that you do it for the greater good, भन्छ नि.
यसबाट मान्छेहरूलाई जति पनि सुनिरहनु भएको छ उहाँहरू सबैजनालाई चाहिँ आई थिङ्क लेगेसी चाहिँ कस्तो हुनुपर्छ भन्ने पनि ज्ञान भयो होला. मैले I've learned a lot from that as well, right? So thank you for sharing.
One thing on legacy, if you want to see 31 वर्ष ब्याङ्किङमा काम गर्यो, 17 वर्ष CEO भयो, यो के लेगेसी छोड्यो त अनिल शाहले भन्दाखेरि आई वुड रिक्वेस्ट यु युट्युबमा जानुस् यो हेरिसकेपछि अनिल शाह नाबिल ब्याङ्क फेयरवेल भिडियो भनेर हेर्नुहोस् एउटा. It was made as a complete surprise to me by my team in Nabil Bank when I left. I wasn't only leaving Nabil Bank. They knew that was my end of my banking career. I was not going to come back in banking. And they made a farewell video for me. मैले के कमाएँ ब्याङ्कमा त्यो पैसा त्यो बोनस नो त्यो माया कमाएँ. Just look at that video. Nabil Bank Anil Shah farewell video. Just type it out on YouTube. Watch that video. If you want to know what is true kamai, what is true legacy for Anil Shah in banking, that is it. That is a reflection of that.
Yeah, no, I've seen it. It's very beautiful. It's a very beautiful video, and also a farewell video. Okay, so this is a fun bit about rapid fire.
All right.
So there'll be a few questions as the rapid fire says. I would ask quickly as possible. You'd have to be on your toes and answer as quick as possible.
Yes.
Fun questions.
Yes.
Shall we start?
So we shall start.
What's your all-time favorite food?
Aloo tama.
If you could switch lives with anyone for a day, who would it be? For one day. Beach holiday or a mountain retreat?
Pahad ko beach ma janu bhera beach holiday. You always want what you don't
Yes. Likewise. Well, I wouldn't tell you. What's the first thing you do when you wake up in the morning?
Think of how fortunate I am. And that means think of my daughter.
One word to describe you.
Learner.
If you could teleport to any place in the world right now,
Pokhara.
What's your guilty pleasure?
Oh, eating sweets.
If you could have dinner with any historical figure, who would it be and why?
My father, my grandfather, my grandmother who are not with me now.
Beautiful. Something that is on your bucket list.
Going to Alaska actually is on my bucket list.
Wow. Your favorite podcast?
My own.
Undoubtedly. If you were an animal, what would you be and why?
I would be a lion. One, because I'm a Leo. And second, because I think a lion lives in a pack. And the success depends on success of the whole pack. It's not only one person's success. And I truly believe in that.
No, fantastic. What is that one hidden talent that a lot of people do not know about you?
Everyone knows everything about me. I don't know if it's a hidden talent or not. It's a passion, is photography. I love photography.
Wow. What's your comfort food? Go-to comfort food after a long, tiring day?
Dal, bhat, khasiko masu, gulbhenako achar.
Yeah. So listeners, please check it out. If you are inviting Anil Dai for dinner or lunch,
Absolutely.
You know the menu now.
Yeah.
What's the weirdest nickname you've ever had?
Pwani. My grandmother used to call me Pwani.
Yeah.
I don't know why. And I used to call her Pwani Moa because she called me Pwani.
Wow. Morning person or a night owl?
Morning person.
What's the most memorable holiday you've ever had?
Me and my wife and daughter believe our investment is memories we make in holidays. So we go all over the place. A lot of beach holidays are memorable. But I think for us, holidays to Pokhara. And then there's a little place called Mallaj, which is run by a good friend above Beni. So that's a place where there's nothing to do. So it's even Pokhara, there's so much to do. All holidays, Nepalese, there's so much we need a holiday after the holiday. Mallaj is the one place.
Oh, wow.
So I love that.
What's your biggest aspiration for Nepal?
To be the best version of itself.
If you could time travel, would you visit the past or the future? And what year would you go and where?
I would visit the here and now. Because neither living in the past or the future is going to get us to where we want to go.
Yeah. If you were to cook a meal for your friends, what would be your signature dish?
Pepto-Bismol and Daiji. Because my cooking is so terrible, they would definitely need it.
Oh, wow. If you could live in another country for a year, where would it be?
Maybe Australia.
Australia. What's the first thing you pack when you're on a trip, when you're going on a trip?
With my age, it's my medicines, I think.
Well, you said about age that I would quickly want to say this, but I remember seeing you 10 years plus back and you were the same, and now you're the same. So I need to, after this podcast, I need to check what is your daily diet. What is the strangest thing you have ever packed for a trip?
I packed case for this when I went to a beach that would let me go underwater, and I took amazing photos of swimming with the sharks.
Okay, great. A book that you would recommend a young Nepali to read?
A book that really helped me is a book called Daily Drucker. It's by Peter Drucker. It's sort of every day what you can do for that day. And not only did I love it, in 2 of the banks that I led, I used to share it with the entire team through email. So whatever that quote was for that day and how it would impact our bank to do this. Because I'm a person who doesn't read a lot, but whatever I read to try to impact my life positively. So it takes me a long time to read, but that was a book I read.
Your big project for 2025?
Craft leaders.
Fantastic. So the last question from me would be not last question, but I think the second last question, because the last question is another segment. The last question from my end would be, I know you're writing a book. Could you please share something very quick about the book and what made you write that book?
Okay, the working title of the book is Summiting Life, One Smile at a Time. So it's not an autobiography, but I have a philosophy that the objective of life for everybody is the same, and that is to be happy. And there are 5 ingredients of happiness: family and friends, money and economic wealth, health, power and status, greater good and God. How much of each ingredient is required for you, me? Everybody is different. You need to find your unique happiness formula. So it is about that, and dovetailing that in with my life journey and my life story, so that it's something that I would really like to leave behind, because it's a philosophy that has helped me, and I would like it to help a lot of people going forward as well. So that's what the book is about. I'm trying to finish it, and hopefully by the end of this year I'll finish it. The aim is to bring it out in Nepali and English, so that larger number of people can actually read it and benefit from it. The idea behind this book is not to make tons of money of the book, but as you talked about legacies, people, I want to leave a little bit of my trick of happiness, my formula of happiness, so that everybody can be happy in their life journeys.
Fantastic. I would be eagerly waiting for that book, to read. And to keep it in my little mini library that I have at my home. And hopefully, if I'm lucky enough, a signed copy perhaps.
Absolutely. No doubt about that.
Yeah. Thank you. And so the last question, what happens is the previous speaker of the podcast leaves one question to the next speaker without knowing who they are.
All right.
So there's one question that they've left, and you can also leave one question for the next speaker, as you don't know who the next speaker is. But very, very, coincidentally, the question is connected to happiness.
Oh, wow.
So it's the question that the last speaker left was, what is happiness and what does it mean to you?
Happiness to me, and I think to every living being, is very different. And the mistake we make is we think happiness is generic, and we run after our parents, our mentors, society's vision of happiness. For me, happiness is that happiness formula, and it changes. What made me happy when I was in school, in college, in starting work, and now is completely different. I realize that, and everybody must, that happiness also changes with age, with growth, with evolution, and so on and so forth. So that is what happiness is for me. And my hope is that everybody finds out what happiness is for them.
Yeah.
Not their parents or their brothers and sisters or society, but for you. And when you journey through life and you know what we're going to give you happiness, then you're going to have an amazing life.
Wonderful. But thank you so much, Dai. We're truly, truly honored to have you. And thank you so much for your time and for this wonderful energy you bring together every time anyone sees you. And thank you so much. I think words are not enough, but we and my team are so grateful for this time. And thank you for joining the London Roundtable Podcast show.
Thank you for the opportunity. It is truly, truly a pleasure to be here. I think there's Nepali diaspora everywhere, but the diaspora in UK is very special because I think it is one of the first places that Nepalese went to. It was with the British Gorkhas or whatever. 200 years of relationship with this country. And to be here at the London Roundtable is a privilege for me. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you so much. And with that, it is a wrap.